Just for fun, I'm going to turbo through some Edric games, and you can check them out if you'd like. This is going to take... what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the fast forward button, so we'll find out if you can follow along what's going on. But hopefully you can. Hopefully I can narrate reasonably well at a fast speed. Anyway, I will start the games off slowly, though, and then we'll just pick it up from there. So my opponent's playing Solkanar the Swamp King. I have Edric and for all four of these games, and I'm going to have probably 4 different opponents. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the top 4 games here, because they're all Edric games. And I'm going first. I'm at the top of the screen, so we're going to just turbo through this. So I kept a sketchy hand, predicated upon, the chance of drawing a forest, and I was able to top deck a forest. So, while my opponent, on the other hand, I guess had plenty of mana. In a sense, he had 4, but he had nothing to do with it. So I set him back a good bit. He finally gets some colored mana, and I get to draw 5 cards. This game's not going too well for him, you could say. So I'm able to use Brainstorm to cheat a Quelling Oracle, assured land drop, and standing up a counterspell. But Underworld Dreams is just simply not worth a counterspell, nor is it worth a bounce spell. It's just worth ignoring. It turns Edric into Necropotence. Necropotence wins games. I don't care. Anyway, so this turn I smash him, and then I go for the concession by Oxing my City of Brass, Zenithing for a Deranged Hermit, which gives me 1 more mana off of Archdruid, Natural Ordering the Hermit into a Witness to pick up the Hermit, and recasting him. And so now I actually have a lethal army on the board. I'll do over 22 damage, and my opponent gives up. When the Winter Orb hits, he realizes he has no outs. So in this next game here, I was playing against Docks. Again, my hand will be docked down below due to the playback glitch. He's playing Sliver Overlord. I'm playing Edric, of course. And I don't know who won the dice roll. Looks like he did. Okay, so we'll start turboing through. Another semi-sketchy keep. It's a slow hand. Don't really like those, but turns out he's just playing, slivers, which is not good. Not usually. Does have a lot of removal though, so he terminates Wirewood instead of my mana creature. And I decide I'm going to clone his Frenetic Sliver for a very particular purpose, which is that it powers up my Bloom Tender, so I can get down opposition and a bunch of guys. Of course, I tap down every threatening land that he's got. He plays Crystalline Sliver, so I won't be oppositioning slivers, so that's good for him. So then Edric comes down and I draw a card and play some more guys, keeping his mana suppressed. And he hits me for some meaningless damage. So I draw 3 cards this turn. Luckily no Condemn, right? And Brainstorm into Green Sun Zenith, Zenith into, of course, Hermit, and play an Archdruid. And then what I do is I try to flip my Frenetic Sliver. So it's a metamorph copy of a sliver, and so by flipping the coin, had I lost the flip, but had I won the flip, it would have came back into play as a metamorph, and then cloned Deranged Hermit. That didn't happen though. I lost the flip, so I just locked down his mana, and he gives up anyway. Guess I didn't need that extra Hermit. All right, so next opponent. Looks like I won the dice roll this time. And I have a ridiculous hand. Totally ridiculous. And again, I'm up at the top for whatever reason. Still playing Edric. He's playing Omnath. Alright, let's go. Turbo Magic. So, pretty good first 2 turns. He's got Rofellos, so he may be able to catch up. It's hard to say. So I go for 3 cards since I'm flush with mana. Oh, and I got a Hermit. He's probably not catching up. I don't know how many times I've said, like, all of my games end with either Hermit or Trastodon, or both. In this deck. Like, those 2 cards are just too ridiculous. So anyway, I smash for obscene amounts of cards. He double blocks my Edric, but because Edric is exiled and doesn't go to the graveyard, it doesn't trigger Predator Ooze. This is actually something I have a problem with. Makes no sense that commanders shouldn't at least tap the graveyard before they're exiled for their commander's ability to trigger things like this, but it doesn't. So his double block that he thought was useful, because he didn't understand that rule, suddenly screws him over. It's kind of a bummer. Anyway, not that I was in a lot of trouble this game, you know. So I'm able to play both for Fellows and a Priest. That's bad news. He gets Omnath down, makes some big guys. No big deal. And like I said, all games end with Trastodon or Hermit. Sometimes both. This is going to be one of the both games. So I'm able to Sword and Fire and Ice as Rofellos. Tap for ridiculous amounts of mana. Play the Trastodon Strip. He doesn't give up though, so okay. No big deal. We'll just keep it going. Shoot his Predator Ooze because it's silly to do and there's no point in shooting anything else. Transmute Muddle for Rift. Play Crucible. Play Opposition. Kick a Rift up. Tap down his stuff and double strip mine him. Smash. And he dies. So do we have any more games? I think that was... Oh, well, one more here. Okay, so my opponent won the dice roll on this one, so I'm averaging every other. That seems about perfect, actually. He's playing Child of Alara, and of course I'm playing Edric. So, I decided to keep this hand. One of the main things about this deck that's so good is that it's very rare that you need to mulligan, and it mulligans very well when you do. So I go turn to Edric instead of standing up to Pierce, and then I Ranger early on and claim his Signet, so this way I can now have the Pierce ready. And I go ahead and just trade Edric for War Priest since it's no trade at all. He'll be back. My opponent gets down to that Pride Mage. No problem for me. And of course, so I get a Zenith. This time I Zenith for Dryad since he's got a forest and I can start forest walking him with Edric. And he ended turn past Termites and then plays a Rakdos Carnarium's not a issue to me. Down comes Edric and up goes my hand. Still holding full Force of Will, still leaving a Spell Pierce up. Had it up all game. Just haven't had a target, which is no problem. He plays his Zemic Guildmage, which you can put counters on creatures that enter the battlefield and then remove them to draw cards. And he combos it with Mog War Marshal. I thought that was pretty cool, but not with Force of Willing. Force of Will is there to protect the play that I'm about to make, which is Smashy Smash with Trastodon. So he decides not to pay his upkeep, but he does pay the pump up creatures that enter play. Ah, no. What does he do with that? Oh, he draws a card off his Guildmage. Okay, I see. Anyway. It does not matter. We have Trastodon him. So I just throw an Edric out there. Kill a couple of his guys. Trade him for nothing. And there goes the Broken Hermit again. So Trastodon comes in. I trade Trastodon for the 3 elephants. We now have Hermit action. And I counterspell his Witness. And thanks to the obscene power of Hermit in an Edric deck, and in general, my hand just goes crazy. Draw, 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 draw. Down comes Garrick, and my opponent gives up. So, 4 games, turbo speed. This way, it still took us almost 10 minutes, but hopefully you enjoyed it. This was the deck list that I was using. The Edric deck, as you can see, is pretty ridiculous. mainly because certain cards in here are completely ridiculous. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.